Hi, everyone. Welcome back to English Fab, where learning English is practical, useful, and fab. Every day, there is a lot happening around the world. Let's learn vocabulary and phrases related to them together and talk about them in daily conversation. If you find English difficult, don't worry. You can translate the subtitles into English and your own language like this. Check the description below for extra details. All right, let's get started. Headlines. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Offensive, a large-scale military attack or campaign. Escalation, an increase in intensity or severity, especially in conflict. Mercenaries, soldiers hired to fight for money rather than for loyalty to a country. Phrases. Has launched present perfect tense, indicating an action that started in the past and still has relevance. Amid fears of, a phrase used to show that something is happening while people are worried about something. Targeted strikes on describes intentional and focused attacks on specific locations or targets. 2. Vocabulary. Epicenter, the point on the Earth's surface directly above where an earthquake begins. Aftershocks, smaller earthquakes that follow the main shock. Infrastructure, the basic physical systems of a country, like roads, power, water, etc. Phrases. Death toll rises to, a phrase used to describe the increasing number of people killed. Remains missing, passive voice used when someone has not been found after a disaster. Has devastated, present perfect tense, showing that the destruction continues to have effects. 3. Vocabulary. Tariffs, taxes placed on imported or exported goods. Retaliation, the act of responding to an attack or action with a counteraction. Trade war, a conflict where countries impose tariffs or other barriers on each other's goods. Phrases. Imposed a tariff of, used to describe the government's action of placing a specific tax on goods. In response to, a phrase to explain that one action is a reaction to another. Has escalated, present perfect form indicating that tensions or events have grown worse over time. 4. Vocabulary. Lawsuit, a legal case brought before a court. Unlawful, not allowed by law, illegal. Congressional approval, permission or endorsement by the legislative body, for example, U.S. Congress. Phrases. Filed a lawsuit against, legal term for officially starting a legal case. Argues that, a reporting verb used to introduce someone's opinion or claim. Seeks to block, expresses the intention of stopping something from happening. 5. Vocabulary. Coalition, a group formed for a common purpose, often countries or organizations. Sovereignty, the authority of a state to govern itself. Peace plan, a proposal for resolving a conflict peacefully. Phrases. Pledge support for, a phrase used to express a firm promise or commitment to help. Committed to, shows dedication or obligation toward a cause. Discussed measures to, refers to a conversation about steps or actions to be taken. 6. Vocabulary. Tornadoes, violent rotating columns of air extending from a thunderstorm to the ground. Fatalities, deaths caused by accidents or disasters. La Niña, a climate pattern that can cause extreme weather globally. Phrases. Swept through, describes something moving quickly and forcefully across an area. Resulted in, shows the cause and effect relationship. Linked to, used to connect one event or condition with another. Business. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Deposit rate, the interest rate paid by central banks on deposits from commercial banks. Inflation, the rate at which the general level of prices for goods and services is rising. Eurozone, the group of European Union countries that use the euro as their currency. Phrases. Is expected to, a phrase used to indicate a future event that analysts or experts predict will happen. Responding to indicates a reaction to a certain situation or data. Impact the economy refers to having a noticeable effect, positive or negative, on economic activity. 2. Vocabulary. Markets, financial markets where securities, commodities, and other assets are traded. Downturn, a decline in economic or business activity. Crash, a sudden and severe drop in the value of financial markets. Phrases. Have seen, present perfect form indicating ongoing or recent trends or events. Marking the largest, highlights a record-setting or unusually high magnitude of something, since the used to compare the current situation with a past reference point. 3. Vocabulary. Appoints, officially names someone to a position or role. Independent directors, board members who are not part of the company's executive team and are free of conflicts of interest. Board refreshment, the process of renewing or rotating members on a company's board of directors. Phrases. Announce plans to, formal phrase indicating an organization's intentions. As part of, shows inclusion in a broader effort or strategy. Effective, April the 17th, a specific date when something is scheduled to take effect. 4. Vocabulary. Earnings, the profits made by a company during a certain period. Quarter, a 3-month period used in financial reporting, for example, Q1, Q2. Financial results, a company's official statement of profits, losses, revenue, and other key figures. Phrases. Plans to release indicates that something will be made public in the near future. Providing insights into, a phrase that means to give a clearer understanding of something. Amid uncertainties. Used when something happens while there is unpredictability or instability in the environment. 5. Vocabulary. Conference, a formal meeting or event where people discuss topics of interest, often in business or academia. Presentations, structured talks or demonstrations, often with visual aids given to share information. Investors, individuals or organizations that allocate capital with the expectation of financial returns. Phrases. Features presentations from, indicates that the event includes talks by specific participants. Offering insights into, describes giving valuable knowledge or understanding about a topic. Begins on April 17th. Specifies the official start date of the event. 6. Vocabulary. Growth, an increase in economic activity or output. Exports, goods or services sent to another country for sale. Service sector, the part of the economy that provides services rather than goods, for example, finance, retail, hospitality. Phrases. Grew by, shows a specific amount or rate of increase. Driven by indicates the main cause or motivation behind a trend or result. Highlighting the impact of, emphasizes the effect that something has had. Entertainment. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Festival, a public event celebrating a particular theme, often featuring performances, talks, or exhibitions. Maternal, relating to mothers or motherhood. Narrative, a story or account of events, often used to describe how something is framed or explained. Phrases. Is hosting, describes someone organizing or presenting an event. Aiming to address indicates the purpose or goal of tackling a specific issue. Celebrating birth experiences emphasizes honoring or showcasing personal stories related to childbirth. 2. Vocabulary. Crossover, a collaboration between two shows or series where characters or storylines intersect. Premiere, the first public showing of a new show or episode. Collaborate, to work together on a shared project or goal. Phrases. Features teams from used to introduce the involvement of different groups or characters. Followed by indicates the sequence of events. Solving a complex case. Describes the main plot involving a difficult or intricate investigation. 3. Vocabulary. Reunite, to come together again after a period apart. Advertisement, a promotion or commercial for a product or service. Chemistry, in entertainment, refers to the natural connection or dynamic between performers. Phrases. Star in refers to actors appearing prominently in a production or commercial. Showcasing there, used to highlight talents or characteristics. Set in anew describes the location or context of a performance or story. 4. Vocabulary. Gross, the total revenue earned before expenses. Sci-fi, short for science fiction, a genre involving futuristic or speculative content. Theatrical, related to cinema screenings or stage performances. Phrases. Is projected to lose, refers to expected or forecasted financial losses. Despite earning, shows contrast between income and overall performance. Falling short of, failing to meet a target or expectation. 5. Vocabulary. Tour, a series of performances in different locations. Set list, a list of songs or performances planned for a concert or show. Stage presence, the ability to command attention and engage an audience during a performance. Phrases. Is praised for, indicates recognition or admiration. Highlighting her, refers to bringing attention to someone's strengths or qualities. With critics saying, introduces commentary or opinions from reviewers. 6. Vocabulary. Announces, formally shares news or plans. Album, a collection of recorded music released as a single package. Supporting, promoting, or relating to the release of something, for example, an album or product. Phrases. Set to embark on, indicates the start of a journey or tour. Marks her first, highlights a significant return or milestone. Starting April 23rd, gives the specific start date of the event or activity. Health. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Maternal, relating to motherhood or mothers. Disparities, differences or inequalities, often referring to health, income, or access. Doula, a trained professional who supports individuals before, during, and after childbirth. Phrases. Is hosting, indicates someone is organizing or presenting an event. Aiming to address, expresses the intention to deal with or solve a specific issue. Celebrating experiences, refers to honoring or recognizing people's personal stories or journeys. 2. Vocabulary. Autism, a developmental disorder that affects communication and behavior. Diagnoses, the identification of a disease or condition by its symptoms and signs. Prevalence, the total number of cases of a particular condition in a given population at a specific time. Phrases. Reports that, a reporting phrase used to introduce new findings or information. Now diagnosed with, indicates a person has recently been officially identified as having a condition. Reflecting a trend, shows that something is part of an ongoing pattern or movement. 3. Vocabulary. Measles, a highly contagious viral disease that causes fever, cough, and a skin rash. Outbreak, a sudden increase in the number of cases of a disease in a specific area. Unvaccinated, describes people who have not received a vaccine to protect against a disease. Phrases. Has resulted in, indicates the outcome or consequence of a situation. Primarily affecting, describes who or what is most impacted. Across multiple states, refers to something occurring in several regions or locations. 4. Vocabulary. Malaria, a serious disease caused by parasites, typically spread by mosquito bites. Province, a territorial division within a country. Containment, the act of controlling or limiting the spread of something harmful. Phrases: has caused, used to describe the effect or impact something has produced. Challenging efforts to indicate something is making it difficult to complete a task or goal. Rapid disease progression refers to how quickly a disease develops or spreads. 5. Vocabulary: tuberculosis, a bacterial infection that mainly affects the lungs and can be spread through the air. Latent describes a disease that is present in the body but not currently causing symptoms. Cases: instances of a disease diagnosed in individuals. Phrases: is experiencing, indicates something that is currently happening or ongoing. Marking one of highlights something as notable or among the top examples. Since 2008 specifies a time frame reference for comparison. 6. Vocabulary: basolateral, amygdala, a part of the brain associated with emotional processing and social behavior. Altruism, selfless concern for the well-being of others. Social interactions, exchanges or communication between individuals. Phrases: linked to behavior, indicates a connection between a brain region or condition and certain actions. Offering insights into, provides understanding or useful information about something. Regulating responses, describes how something controls or influences reactions. Sports. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary: tournament, a sports competition involving a series of games or matches. Signature event, a major or high-profile competition that stands out in a sports calendar. Leaderboard, a board or list showing the current rankings or scores of competitors. Phrases: features a field of, describes the lineup or group of participants in a competition. Taking a break after, indicates a temporary pause or rest following a major event or achievement. Returns to compete for refers to a participant coming back to a contest aiming to win a prize or title. 2. Vocabulary: premiership, a top-level sports league, especially in rugby or football. Redemption, the act of making up for a previous loss or poor performance. Dominant win, a clear and strong victory over an opponent. Phrases: seek redemption against, means trying to overcome or defeat a team that previously beat them. Aims to replicate, indicates an intention to repeat a successful result. Looks to bounce back, refers to recovering from a setback or poor performance. 3. Vocabulary: middleweight, a weight class in boxing for fighters typically weighing between 154-160 pounds, 70-73 kilograms. Clash, a contest or match between two strong opponents. Postponed, delayed, or rescheduled to a later time. Phrases: scheduled to clash, refers to a match that is officially planned to happen. Follows a postponed, indicates the event was previously delayed but is now rescheduled. Attributed to, used to explain the cause of something or to whom, what it is linked. 4. Vocabulary: inaugural, the first occurrence of an event. Champions, winners of a competition or league. Final, the last and deciding match in a tournament. Phrases: takes place at, indicates the location of the event. Features the winners of, refers to the participation of previously victorious teams or players. Competing for the title, expresses the goal of winning the championship or trophy. 5. Vocabulary: wrestling, a sport involving physical grappling techniques and entertainment-style matches. Special, a non-regular or featured program event. Broadcast, a television or radio program that is transmitted to an audience. Phrases: concludes today at, refers to the final part or end of an event happening on a specific day and time. Features episodes of, indicates the inclusion of specific content in the program. Adjusted to avoid conflict with, means the schedule was changed to prevent overlap with another event. 6. Vocabulary: tournament, a structured competition with multiple participants. Barbed wire, a type of dangerous wire used in some extreme wrestling matches. Massacre, in wrestling, refers to an intense and violent match type, not literal violence. Phrases, is set for tonight at indicates a scheduled event happening that evening. Includes the final of refers to the last and decisive match in a competition. Between two competitors specifies the match involves two people or teams going head-to-head. Climate. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Bleaching, the process where coral loses its color due to stress, often from rising sea temperatures, leading to its decline or death. Ecosystem, a community of living organisms interacting with their environment. Conservationists, people who work to protect natural environments and wildlife. Phrases, has experienced, present perfect tense indicating that something has happened recently or repeatedly. Warning that introduces a caution or serious concern about a future outcome. May represent the last chance. Expresses a possible final opportunity to prevent loss or failure. 2. Vocabulary. Rainfall, the amount of rain that falls in a specific area over a given period. Ecosystems, natural systems formed by the interaction of living organisms and their surroundings. Vegetation, plant life in a particular region or area. Phrases, is experiencing present continuous tense describing an ongoing situation. Leading to indicates a cause-effect relationship. Showing signs of describes early visible or measurable indicators of change or decline. 3. Vocabulary. Restructure, to change the organization or system of something, often to improve efficiency or reduce costs. Budget, a financial plan that outlines spending limits and priorities. Programs, organized activities or projects, often within government or research institutions. Phrases, plans to indicates a proposed or intended action. Including eliminating suggests that part of the proposal involves removing something. Would compromise, means to negatively affect or weaken the integrity or effectiveness of something. 4. Vocabulary. Heatwave, a prolonged period of excessively hot weather. Temperatures, measurements of heat or cold, usually in degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. Average, a typical or mean value calculated from a set of numbers. Phrases, concludes that, introduces the result of a study or report. Climbing to indicates temperatures are rising up to a specific point. Significantly higher than, used to describe a value that greatly exceeds a known or expected level. 5. Vocabulary. Heat index, a measure that combines air temperature and humidity to reflect how hot it feels to the human body. Temperatures, the degree of heat present in the atmosphere. Health issues, problems that affect a person's physical well-being. Phrases, expected to experience indicates something likely to occur in the near future. Reaching up to refers to the maximum level something is expected to hit. Posing risks of indicates potential dangers or threats caused by a situation. 6. Vocabulary. Wildfires, uncontrolled fires that spread rapidly in forests or brushlands. Drought, a prolonged period of below-average rainfall leading to water shortages. Vegetation, the collective plant life in an area. Phrases, has experienced, indicates that the area has gone through a specific event or condition. Increasing the likelihood of means making it more probable that something will happen. Leading to, explains the result or consequence of a condition or action. Technology. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Semiconductor, a material used to produce computer chips, essential for modern electronics. Guidance, a company's forecast or prediction about future financial performance. Revenue, the total amount of income generated by the sale of goods or services. Phrases, reaffirmed its forecast, repeated or confirmed its financial projection. Expects China to contribute, indicates the company anticipates earnings from the Chinese market. Amid rising tensions, used to describe a situation occurring while political or economic pressure is increasing. 2. Vocabulary. Export controls, government rules that restrict the sale of certain goods to other countries. AI chips, specialized computer chips designed to handle artificial intelligence tasks. Restrictions, limitations, or rules preventing specific actions. Phrases, reported that, used to introduce information announced by a company or source. Will cost the company describes the financial impact on the business. Limiting their export to refers to restrictions placed on where the products can be shipped or sold. 3. Vocabulary. Curbs, measures taken to limit or control something, such as exports. Processors, central units in computers that execute instructions. Impact, the effect or influence of one thing on another. Phrases, anticipates charges of, predicts financial losses or costs due to an issue. Due to restrictions indicates that limitations are the reason for an outcome. Assessing the impact on, evaluating how something affects a company or system. 4. Vocabulary. Footnotes, annotations or additional context added to explain or clarify content. Context, background information that helps make something clearer. Feature, a new tool or function added to a product or app. Phrases, has begun testing, indicates the start of an experimental phase for a product. Allowing users to, grants users the ability to perform a certain action. Similar to, used to compare one thing with another that is alike. 5. Vocabulary. Philanthropy, charitable actions typically by organizations or individuals to promote public good. Advisory board, a group that provides strategic recommendations but does not have decision-making power. Transition, a process of change from one state or system to another. Phrases, has appointed, officially selected someone for a role to guide its strategy, to provide direction or advice for future plans. As it transitions toward, describes the organization's shift toward a new model or goal. 6. Vocabulary. Lease, a contract that allows one party to use property owned by another. Tech hub, a location that serves as a central base for technology development. Strategy, a planned course of action to achieve specific goals. Phrases, has finalized a deal for, completed negotiations and agreed on terms. Expanding its presence in, growing its operations or influence in a region. Part of a broader strategy, a single move that fits into a larger, long-term plan. Travel. Now, let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Strike, a work stoppage by employees as a form of protest, usually to gain better conditions or pay. Disruptions, interruptions that cause delays, confusion, or inconvenience. Controllers, personnel responsible for managing the movement of trains, planes, or other transportation systems. Phrases, are bracing for, preparing for something difficult or unpleasant. Has announced, formally stated, or made public. Potentially causing, indicating a possible result or effect. 2. Vocabulary. Tunnel, an underground or underwater passage used for transportation. Closure, the act of shutting down or blocking access to a route or facility. Maintenance, routine work performed to keep infrastructure in good condition. Phrases, will be closed from, indicates when the closure begins and ends. For ongoing, refers to work or activity that is continuing or still in progress. Affecting travelers on, describes how the closure impacts people using the route. 3. Vocabulary. Payment, the act of transferring money for goods or services. System, a digital platform or set of processes that work together for a function, like bookings or payments. Suspension, a temporary halt or pause in service. Phrases, will temporarily suspend, will stop offering a service for a short time. From 1 o'clock to 3 a.m. specifies the time frame for the action. For scheduled, indicates the planned nature of the interruption. 4. Vocabulary. Advisories, official notices providing information or guidance, often related to safety or travel. Warnings, alerts issued to inform people of potential dangers. Reconsider, to think again about a decision, often suggesting a change in plans. Phrases, has updated, indicates the information has been revised or refreshed. Including warnings for, lists countries or regions for which alerts are issued. Recommends travelers to, offers suggestions for what people should do. 5. Vocabulary. Windstorms, severe weather conditions involving strong winds. Flooding, overflow of water onto land that is usually dry. Delays, periods of time when something is postponed or slowed down. Phrases, have led to, indicates a cause and effect relationship. Affecting travel plans, causing problems or changes in planned journeys. Causing widespread, resulting in something happening over a large area or to many people. 6. Vocabulary. Helicopter, a type of aircraft that takes off and lands vertically using rotating blades. Crash, a sudden and violent accident involving vehicles or aircraft. Investigation, a formal inquiry to discover the cause or facts behind an incident. Phrases, is under investigation, indicates that authorities are currently examining the event. Resulting in fatalities, describes that the event caused deaths. Suspended the license of, temporarily revoked permission to operate due to the incident. That's it for today's lesson. We explored many topics and learned important vocabulary and useful phrases. Remember, the more you connect English to what's happening around you, the easier it becomes to understand and use it in daily life. Okay, thanks for watching today's lesson on English Fab. I hope you found these English tips useful and feel more confident. Remember, practice makes perfect, so try using these phrases in your daily conversations. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more Fab English lessons. Until next time, keep practicing and stay Fab.